welcome to my kitchen. It is that time again. We are here in the kitchen cooking up some delicious recipes. Now, I've got two today for you. I've got the most delicious, amazing, indulgent Millionaire's shortbread pudding. It is so good. You're gonna love it. But first, I'm gonna show you how to use up a bit of leftovers. Now, I always make too much rice in our house. It is just one of them things. Even though I know how to measure out rice per person, for some reason, it's like the magic rice pot. It always makes too much. So I've developed a recipe that I think is gonna be really delicious and a great way to use up rice. So I'm gonna make like an Indian spiced salmon and rice dish, but we're gonna make the rice into like a kind of Spanish omelette. So instead of using onions and potatoes like you would use in a Spanish omelette, we're gonna use rice. I'm gonna bind it all together with egg. I've got some courgette, some chillies, some coriander, and we're going to cook it as one big pan like a rice cake, okay? But we're gonna flavor it with a little bit of dry spice. Now, I've shown you how to make this before on several recipes, and it is such a beautiful combination of spices. It is, oh, it's just delicious. And this is no different. So if you missed that episode and you don't know how to make this, this is what I do. So super simple, just loads of different spices. It is, honestly, I make this and I keep it on the shelf and we use it for so many things. So we're gonna use it today. Right, first of all, let's get our eggs in. So, I have got 5 free-range medium eggs here. Doesn't matter if they were large. Okay. In we go. Right, so there we go, 5 eggs. Give my hands a quick wipe. A little bit of salt in there, not too much. A little bit of pepper, again, not too much because we're going to use some of that spice. And let's just whisk that up. I don't think we have enough recipes using up leftover rice. No. It's like you never quite know what to do with it, do you?
It's just one of those things you can never get right with quantity.
No, I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Awful. I always look at it and I think, oh, it's not enough. Stick another handful in. Yeah. Right, so I've got my spice mix. I'm going to use just 1 teaspoon in there. And then we're going to use a little bit on the salmon as well. Okay? So, in we go. Now, we've got some serious flavour in there. All right? So let's put that to one side. And then we are going to use some lovely fresh coriander. I've got a courgette in the fridge, so that's going to be used up. Let's grab a knife. I'm going to use mainly the stalk for cooking with, and we're going to use the leaf at the end. But I'm not like majorly worried if I get a bit of leaf in at the beginning, but I just want to make sure that I have a few lovely like fresh leaves at the end, because for me, fresh coriander leaf is just so fragrant and delicious. I love it. And it's a great way to get big flavour in. Now, I know some people don't like coriander, so if you don't like it, don't put it in. It's going to be okay. You could put fresh mint in if you prefer. That would work. But mostly stalk there, a few leaves. So we've got, say, 2 tablespoons of chopped coriander, stalk and leaf. Put that to one side. Got a red chilli, so that's going to go in. And again, now that it's getting to sort of those winter evenings, I like spicy food. It really kind of, we were talking about it earlier, it really lifts your morale and, you know, get your taste buds going. And, you know, it might be dark outside, but it's light and bright inside in the kitchen. Okay, so fresh red chili, diced, eggs and chili really work together well. Okay, coriander works. So we've got a really good combination of flavors that are going to work beautifully. All right. So red chili, over it goes to the other side of the chopping board. Courgette, right. So I'm going to grate my courgette. So 1 whole courgette, just grate the lot. All right. Now, if you haven't got a courgette and you wanted to put some veggies in, you could put in some frozen peas if you wanted to. That would work. Now, there's a lot of moisture in this courgette, so I'm just going to sprinkle it with some salt, okay? And then I can squeeze all the moisture out in a minute because I don't want loads of water in there. Otherwise, it's going to be really stodgy and wet. Okay, so let's get our egg mixture. And in with our coriander and our chilli. So you liking the sound of this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's different.
Done well to this recently with some recipes for you, haven't we? Okay, so now that I've put the salt in there, what you'll find is when I squeeze that, look at all the water coming out. Can you see that? How much water's coming out of there?
Watch the black.
So just mix all the salt in there and then give it a really good squeeze. And can you see how much water's coming out?
Wow.
Yeah? If you don't get rid of that water, it's going to be really stodgy, all right? So the salt has worked with osmosis and it's drawn the moisture out. Now, normally I would do this over a sink, but I wanted to show you, the technique. And this is what we're all about, is trying to share some techniques with you, share some ingredients, create some amazing recipes. So in with our courgette that's been squeezed, all right? And I'll get this last bit and then we'll tidy up.
Okay.
It's amazing how much is in there, isn't it? And like you wouldn't think to do this and you'd make this recipe and you'd be like, it's a bit stodgy. Yeah. Now it won't be. You could also add like fresh spinach into this, but you'd have to do exactly the same, get rid of all the moisture. So what I would do is if you were using spinach instead, is microwave the spinach for a minute and then squeeze all the moisture out and then add it to your egg mixture. Right, so let me get rid of this. Okay, so we've got our mixture. We've got courgettes in here with our eggs, coriander, chili. What else have we got in here? Courgettes, eggs, chili, bit of spice, and that's it, and coriander. So now we're going to add our rice. Okay, now we're not basing this on sort of set measurements. Okay, this is my microwavable rice cooker actually, so I'm just going to add my rice in, all right? And this is more sort of, you need to add enough rice to absorb the egg mixture. And I'm just going to go in with my hands. Can you see? Yeah. Oh, yeah, good. Look, Emily's good, isn't she? She's already cut to it. She's on it.
Not as daft as I look and sound.
You are not as daft as you look and sound. Right, so now, can you you can kind of see how much you need. I can't give you a measurement because this is really about making sure that you have enough rice, really.
Egg sizes will be different.
Yeah, eggs are different. You want enough egg mixture to sort of sit around your rice, okay? And this is very much a recipe I've kind of created out of opportunity. I've not sat at my desk and written this. I've gone, oh, I've got some rice left. What could I do? I'm going to just wash my hands and we'll get on and get this cooking. And this is very much like amazing recipes come from leftovers. So, right, I've got a cast aluminium pan on the heat, getting up to sort of medium heat. It needs to be hot before you put this in because the idea is that we caramelize the bottom. All right, we want it lovely and crispy. Okay, so it's about crisping up this cake. So in with a bit of olive oil to start with. Okay, there we go. And because I'm feeling indulgent, we're going to add a little bit of butter in here because I want the nice caramelization on the bottom. All right? So we're not going to go mental. There we go. Let's add that to the bottom. This will help it caramelize at the bottom and it'll be really, really nice. I promise, Emily, you'll like this.
Trying to convince me.
All right. Okay. Can we see this pan all right? Because I am going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So we're going in. Look at that. All right. So. Look at that. I can't resist getting my hands in. So I'm just going to use a wooden spoon and I'm just going to level this off, all right? Get it nice and flat.
This is a good one for like a quick tea of a
It
night
is,
time,
you know, it's just going to be really good for using up leftovers, which is exactly what I want it to be. You know, you're going to cut this into wedges, and everyone's going to have a wedge. And I'm going to take some of this lovely salmon. So I've just got 2 pieces of salmon. This, for me, this will serve 4, like half a piece of salmon each. With a quarter of one of them, it's going to be a lovely dinner. I'm going to serve it with some baby spinach, some yogurt, and some shredded up mango. So we're kind of keeping the sort of Indian flavours going. All right? So, with our spice mix, I'm just going to take a teaspoon and I'm just going to knock the spoon. I don't want this to be full-on Curryville. All right? This is not about it being like super spicy and like blow your head off. All right? It's somewhere like kedgeree to Spanish omelettes. Do you know what? It's kind of a little bit of everybody's ideas, and then I've just sort of blended them together with some flavours to work. Okay? So all I'm going to do is just pat the salmon like that and get rid of the excess.
Have you got the skin on that, Pete?
The skin's on, yeah, at the moment. I'm going to take it off, actually, because I don't want the skin on. Because what I want is the moisture to come up through the rice and cook it. We don't need the salmon to go on yet, but skin on. So, because I'm doing this for 4 people, I'm going to go in with my knife in the middle. So I've cut in there. I've not cut through the skin. Turn your knife and then just push away until you get the knife flat. And there you go, you see? Just take the fillet off. Turn it round, knife flat, and then just push through. And there you go, skin removed, okay? So the same again for this. I'm going to cut through. You following this, Emily?
Yeah.
And then get the knife flat, horizontal with the board, and there we go. So a really nice, easy way to remove the skin. So that is ready to sit on top of the rice, and then it will go in the oven with the salmon on top. Probably for, this isn't going to take any more than 10 minutes. So the rice is cooking. What we need, the bottom of that pan is to be lovely and caramelized, okay? And golden. And you'll notice, if I shake that, can you see that shaking, Emily? Do you see how the outside is setting, but the middle is still moving? It's not hot enough yet. So I'm going to put that on a medium heat, leave it to cook now. Probably going to take about between 5 to 10 minutes on the hob. Then I'm going to put the salmon on top and whack it in the oven, 180 degrees for another 15 minutes, and then it will be all cooked. But to make sure, I'm going to probe the center of the rice and make sure it's above 75 degrees. That way I know the eggs are set, everything is hot and safe and delicious. Okay, so look, Emily, just cut into this. You can see the rice has just, can you see how it's all moving about now? Because the temperature has got all the way through and the eggs have cooked and bound it all together. Now, I've got a flat plate. I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to turn it over so you can see the lovely caramelized bottom, which will be the top. Put it back in the pan and then we'll finish it in the oven. Okay, so bear with me. Are you ready? Emily, this is the, I need a drum roll. Right, look at that. There you go. Can you see that?
A little bit lower.
Yeah?
There we go.
So, I'm going to slide it back in, which Emily thinks is a terrible idea. I think it's going to work. Love it when I'm right. Okay, so let's take our salmon and we're just going to pop it in the middle there, all right? So everyone's going to get a piece.
I have to say, I didn't think there'd be possibly enough salmon, but looking at that now, I think it's a good portion with the the rice that you have it with.
It's enough. Well, to be fair, it's all you're getting. So a little drizzle of olive oil. There we go. And now we're going to whack this in the oven for 10 minutes till the salmon's cooked, and then we are ready to serve. Right, okay. So while the salmon is cooking on top of the rice cake, I'm just going to prepare what I'm going to serve with it. So fresh coriander to finish. I've got some fresh mango, lime, baby spinach, and I'm going to serve some yogurt on the side because I just think that will work perfectly. So first of all, let's just get the coriander chopped up. And this will just give loads of fragrance. It'll be lovely. So that's that done.
This is the leaf what you had from
Yeah,
before.
so the stalk went into the rice dish, and then the leaf we're going to use to finish. Now, I've got a fresh ripe mango here. So cut the top and the bottom off. I love mango. It's my favourite fruit.
It looks like it's going to be a nice one as well.
It is. I think it is. It's firm. But it's kind of got that ripeness to it as well, so it's not too squidgy, but it's not like rock hard like the boards. Sometimes they're just rock hard, they taste of nothing. But this is going to be really nice. I think the sweetness works with the richness of the salmon, a little bit of fruitiness, fresh, all those good fresh flavours. So what you got to remember with a mango is there's a stone in the middle exactly the same shape, okay? So if you cut from the top and cut round, so I'm cutting outwards, but I'm pressing in to get around the contour of the stone. And then I'm going to do exactly the same there as well. There we go. Got it. And then there's a piece there and a piece there. There we go. And all I'm going to do is just slice the mango up. And I'm going to eat that bit. Yeah, it is a good one. Right, mango sliced. Let's put that there. Ready. Okay. And then we've got some lovely baby spinach, which will be really nice with it. Just nice and green and fresh and healthy. So super healthy, fresh, full of goodness, and full of flavour. It's going to be a perfect autumn dish. So it's cooked. The salmon is just cooked. Only took 10 minutes, not long at all. Still nice and non-stick. Emily assures me this will come out, so we'll give it a whirl. If it's a disaster, we know who to blame. No, it'll be fine. Because of the eggs, it is firmly set, all right? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the salmon off, actually, because I want this to come off beautifully. Emily wants to take a really nice photograph of it. So you can see, there we go.
Hey, see, I told you.
Beautiful. There we go. On here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get a little bit of yogurt on there. See, I think just that little bit of yogurt on the bottom there in the middle. There we go. That'll just add a nice sort of creaminess to it. And I think yogurt always works really well with these kind of spices. And then back on with our salmon. There we go. And then let's take some mango and just sit that on there. A few spinach leaves on there. Oh, heck.
I'm a bit excited with the spinach.
Yeah. There we go. This is going to be good. And then we've got some nice lime wedges like that. Tuck those in there. Maybe a couple more pieces of mango. Look at that. There we go. And then fresh coriander to finish. And there you go. What a fantastic way to finish. I'm just going to squeeze a lime over this, because I think squeezing the lime over is just going to make this absolutely delicious. Now, that is today's main course. I have got the most amazing, delicious millionaire's shortbread mousse to show you, and here's how I made it. That lime juice is totally going to bring all that together. Now, that is today's main course. For dessert, we've got an amazing caramel millionaire's shortbread pudding for you, and here's how I make it. told you that caramel dessert looked amazing. But thank you very much for joining us today. Now, if you want any of the recipes, scan the QR code along the bottom. It'll take you straight to masterclass.co website. All our recipes are there. There is like 50 episodes worth of recipes now, so we've done loads. We've nearly done a whole year of this style of recipe program, so we'll be one soon, so hopefully we'll work it out and we'll have a celebration. This week I've been super busy and I've made the most incredible gluten-free sausage rolls, so I wanted to share the recipe with you, and I thought I'd pack my mate Kerry, who's on his sponsored walk this week, with a few of them just to keep him going over the big mountains. Thank you very much for joining me this week. I hope you like the recipes. If you do, scan the QR code on the bottom now. It'll take you to the website. You can get all the recipes there. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.